Hello, you guys. Welcome back to another episode. Today's episode, we're going to be talking about a basic latch circuit, what that looks like, kind of an idea of how you may program one. Keep in mind with PLC programming, there's a million different ways to do it, right? So everyone kind of has their own signature. Everybody has certain habits that they use. It's just kind of a matter of preference, just like a software engineer might program an app, completely different from another one. Doesn't necessarily mean that one person's right and the other person is wrong. Um, However, there is some kind of standard practices that are best followed, but that's kind of for a different video. Today's video, we're just going to be talking about the latch circuit, as I said before, and basically the concept or the idea of a latch circuit is, say you want to press a button, and when you press a button, you want an LED to turn on. So if you press a button, you want maybe a green LED to turn on or a red LED to turn on. Or we can say, a little bit better terms, we have an input and an output. Our output would be the LED because that's what we want to turn on. And our input would be something that energizes uh, that output or energizes that LED. So basically saying, okay, if something goes across my, let's just say my proximity sensor, then I want this LED to turn on because we want to know whenever something is in front of that sensor. Um, that's the idea. Uh, Now the problem with that, as you can imagine, is if I press a button and I continue to hold that button, of course our output will turn on and it will stay on. But if you think about it long enough, as soon as you release that button, then no longer are you sending, you know, energy or a signal, or no longer are you energizing that output, which means that as soon as you release the button, then technically the light would turn off. So I have a way to simulate it here. I know in my previous video I talked about the free software to get. This is our RS Logix 500. And of course, with our emulator and our links, we can actually simulate this. So you see we're up in our remote program mode here. We're going to go down here to our emulate, and we're actually going to run our emulate, and that should actually turn us into our remote run. You can see here we have green on either side, which means that we are ready to simulate, and that we are actually getting, basically getting our energy there. So this top rung is actually our latch circuit that we will talk about here in a second. But this second rung here is the current situation that we're looking at. So if you can imagine, every single time that I toggle this bit on, of course, this red LED is going to energize. And if I haven't talked to you about ladder programming and how to read it, it's very similar to an electrical schematic. I may do another video on that, but at this point, I kind of expect that you at least know how to somewhat read ladder diagram. But the idea is basically that you're reading from top to bottom, left to right. So, of course, as the PLC is processing extremely fast, in the milliseconds, it's going to go from left to right. If it doesn't see anything, it's going to continue to go down, and it's going to continue to go down. So in this case, we're energizing our second push button, and our red LED comes on. Now, imagine that we're actually holding this button in, and as soon as we release it, so if we come over here and we toggle this bit off, you can see our red LED is not going to stay on. So in order for us to press a button and leave something on, we have to do what we call is latching. We have to latch this circuit. So in this top rung here, in the first rung, you see we have a latch circuit. And this is with push button 1 and a green LED. So what's going to happen is as I energize this, it's going to see that the stop button is examined if opened. So it's already closed, meaning that it's already energized, which you can kind of tell here by the green around it. And Since that's already energized, it's going to continue down the path all the way until this green LED here, which is going to energize our coil or our OTE. Once this is energized, as I said before, top, bottom, left to right, it's going to go to the next rung, which is this little branch off rung here. And you can see it has the same exact address as our output. So it has an output 00, which is our green LED. And you notice that it is an examined if closed, so it's an XIC. So as soon as this energizes, it's going to come down and this is going to energize. And as it energizes, it follows the pathway. And you can see that no longer does it need this push button to stay energized for it to keep on the light. At that point, the only thing that can turn it off is this stop button. So if I press another stop button, it would stop it. So the idea is we can toggle this bit on. You can see our stop button has not been pressed. And then also we're energizing the LED. From that point, we re-energize the LED and it is latched in. So now what we can do is we can toggle this bit off. And you can see this LED still stays on because this is an OR, basically an OR gate. So if this or this is true, we will continue on with the ladder, or we will continue on with the rung. So this isn't, but the green LED is, which means it's going to continue to the stop button, which has not been pressed, therefore keeping the green LED on. So of course, if I hit this stop button, I toggle this bit off, toggle it back on, now our LED is off. So I hope you all understood that concept of a latch. Hopefully y'all are doing some research on the examined if closed, examined if opens, and also your and OR gates. Keep doing some research, keep learning about it. If you have any questions, please in the comment section below, ask me anything you want. Until then, I'll see you on the next video. Thank you so much, guys.